start, I'll hand it over to Cora, and she will explain you a little bit more about what the ECOP program is.
Thank you, Laura. Yes, I will try to give you a good overview of the ECOP program. It was actually already initiated in 2019, so before the Ocean Decade started, and only with a handful of ECOPs, which were present at one of the planning meetings, and they realized, okay, why are there no other ECOPs when we are the future, and when this decade is over, we will be the seniors and we should be the ones responsible for taking decisions further on. Next slide, please. So yes, what is actually an ECOP? This is because it's also a huge international initiative. You see that it has over 4,000 members now and 162 countries, which is quite a big number, and it also reflects the need to have this program and to gather the ECOPs around the world. And ECOPs are intentionally defined very vague. So it could be any ocean enthusiast within a 10 years range, but it's also more a self-identification, whether you consider yourself an early career ocean professional. And importantly, this is also not due to any age, because there are many different career paths, and you can be an early career just because you're starting a new career in your 40s or something. And you can still be part of this network. And our mission is to amplify the voices of early career ocean professionals and to also have them represented in a diverse set of groups and programs, and help them in their capacity development and provide them with meaningful network training and help them with their professional development. Next slide, please. So the global ECOP community is, as I said, a very big international community, and they are organized in different groups. They can work internationally on specific topics, but it's also important to amplify the voices of specific regions or nations. And then the other way around, also to translate the outcomes and the problems faced within the Ocean Decade at the regional and the national level. And you see that there are 4 regional nodes and a couple of national nodes and hubs. Within these national nodes, I marked the Germany one, so this is where we settled in recently and want to further develop, and the national hubs are regions or nations, and they talk about specific topics as well. Then there are 4 task teams. You can get involved. They are quite active. They are touching the ocean literacy and diversity, equity, inclusivity. They are both. Ocean literacy is translating ocean topics into society. Diversity, equity, and inclusivity is also very cross-cutting across many topics, and amplifying the voices of underrepresented groups, which is also important, particularly for early career ocean professionals, since when you are in ECOP and you come from an underrepresented group, then you have already intersectional problems, and this is often overlooked. So we are trying to amplify those voices, that they are heard and that more people are represented in these groups. And there's a task team on training, mentoring, and capacity development, and also Ocean Bridges. Both of them work on capacity development. And this is actually one of the big topics which came out of a global survey they launched back when they started, that capacity development is one of the most important things for ECOPs. And endorsed projects, most of them which are endorsed and associated with the ECOP program, they are also dealing with capacity development most of the time in particular regions. And the idea, if you are not familiar with the structure of the UN Ocean Decade, you can have programs, they are long-term, and within these programs, like the ECOP program, you can apply for an endorsed project. One of the calls, I think it was the 6th, just finished in January this year. So they're regular calls for projects. And if you're interested, you can reach out to the programs and talk with them and co-develop your project. This, however, doesn't mean that this is a funding entity, but they can help you to mobilize resources for your project. Next slide. Yes, as I said, the capacity development was one of the priorities within the ECOP program. So they started organizing in 2022 regular webinar series to different topics. ECOPs raised as issues or problems or they were interested in. There's a cooperation with the Ocean Teacher Global Academy, which is a really, really great platform for all sorts of training material, and also to have training, like an online training, and you can get a certificate for this training. There is a cooperation with SOA, and Laura actually had just recently one of the webinars together with them. And the idea also behind the ECOP program is to not invent things necessarily new, but to also gather all the different initiatives and programs, what is already out there, and make it available to ECOP so you can get a better overview. So there's a mentorship program database and a database for funding opportunities. And lastly, very important that ECOPs also get involved into high-level processes. As I said in the beginning, when they thought about the UN Ocean Decade, it was only very, very few ECOPs, and now already there's a quite good representation in some of the programs and also the national nodes, luckily. Next slide. So there are different communication products, and this may be interesting from two sides. One of them is check it out, get inspired what other people do around the world. And then you can also think about if you're interested to give an interview or talk about what you do and inspire others. You can get involved in the task teams. They are, for example, the ECOP publications, they are joint publications, or talk in webinars about topics you think is very important. And I think the way how to connect we will have at the end. And yes, lastly, the ECOP Germany flyer, I call this version 0 because it's not out yet. And we gathered all our vision and mission into a flyer, which is not ready yet, but you can see the content of this. I apologize that this is only in German, but the content is on the ECOP website and in English. And the reason why this is in German is because we also want to use it for higher level seniors or institutes to approach them and to talk about them, what we want to change and where we want to see ECOP representations, or explain them what we do and what challenges we face. And on the last page, most of you, I think, already filled in this survey. If not, do it. Because this is very helpful for us to see where there are challenges among the ECOPs. And with that, I want to finish with one of you had the option of adding 3 words into the survey. And there was one which said network, in transdisciplinarity and future. And I think this is what very well represents us. So back to you, Laura.
Yeah, thank you, Cora, for this great presentation. I think it gives a good overview of the many opportunities to get involved, and that it is very wide, like you said. And I think you mentioned at the end that it's interdisciplinary as well. Represents our coordination unit as well pretty good. So in order for all of you that are here and don't know us personally, we want to take a few minutes to present ourselves so that you can also see that no matter what kind of background you have, you can get involved and you will find an opportunity to also contribute to the program and to all the activities. So I think Tristan is the first one. Oh, sorry, I skipped one slide. I'll go back. Sorry. Tristan, you're the first one, and over to you.
All right. Hi, everyone, and welcome to our Kickoff webinar. So just to introduce myself real short, I'm Tristan, 28 years old. I was born not close to the coast, and I did not continue my studies close to the coast. I did it in Bochum, which is in the Ruhr area in Germany, so no coast at all. However, during my master's, I got into the marine biology scene, bubble, how you call it, and I'm now doing my PhD on coastal ecosystems regarding biodiversity, ecosystem functioning, and especially conservation. I do this position in Portugal, in Aveiro at the university, and I work in Cabo Verde or Cape Verde. So this project as well has shown me that the necessity of connecting every person on the globe within this frame. And that's why I'm going to co-organize the next wave ocean dinner, which is, we'll come to that a bit later. And I will try to connect existing ECOP groups and communicate, especially with the other international ECOPs. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tristan. Over to Annabelle.
Yeah, hi everyone, I'm Annabelle. I'm Swiss. I'm the Swiss one in our group. And I also did marine biology, my master's, a bachelor's and master's, which is not very common where I'm from. And then right now I'm a postdoc actually in France, but I also have a lot of collaboration still in Germany. I do have kind of previous experiences. I don't know if you guys know the Life Sciences Studenteninitiative. It kind of tries to get students that are in their bachelor's and master's into kind of biotech. And my role in ECOP Germany will be more of the communication. So together with Nori, I'm part of the LinkedIn kind of admin group. However, that's just an admin function. And so I really encourage everybody to actually kind of use that platform actively. And then also more of like the long-term strategy planning. So next one's Cora.
Thank you. I'm Cora. I'm originally also not from the coast. I'm from a Black Forest, and I started my bachelor in biodiversity and ecology. And only after that, I moved into marine sciences. The reason was not initially because I love the ocean so much, because I was concerned so much about the ocean. And now I would say it's a mix of both. I'm still concerned, but I love it a lot. And I'm currently a postdoc at the Alfred Wegener Institute in Bremerhaven, working on harmful algae blooms. I was, until this year, the early career representative of the German National Committee. I'm very happy that I handed over this duty to Nuri and Kim. but I will be still active in the diverse international Ocean Decade programs. And this is also where I see most of my contributions is linking with international initiatives and programs, and try to advise from my experience what I had in the German committee in the past 2.5 years. And over, I don't know which one it is, Nuri or Kim? Or
think it's
Laura.
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 It's me, actually. Thank you. Yeah, my name is Laura. I'm half Dutch, half German, but mainly lived in Germany. I studied law in Hamburg, and last year I moved to Utrecht. So yeah, diving into my Dutch heritage a little bit and pursuing another master's in public international law with the specialization of law of the sea and environmental law. And as my role in our ECOP kind of coordination team is especially the communication with the international ECOPs and also the connection to existing ECOP nodes. And as a voluntary commitment, I have quite a few roles that I'm very passionate about. It's first that I'm involved with the IEEE Oceanic Engineering Society, which might sound weird because I'm a lawyer and not an engineer, but they have an initiative that tries to bridge the gap between engineering, technology, science, and also the policy side. And that's how I got involved with them, to really try to open up the conversation and show the need that it's not enough to just talk within your bubble, but that you need to talk across different disciplines. And that's how I also came involved and became a member of the IUCN World Commission on Environmental Law, which is also a global network of environmental experts and policy people who want to kind of influence different governments or rights. They also publish white papers and stuff like that. So that's very interesting. And from my background, why I started to specialize in law of the sea and kind of combining my personal passion with my academic focus is because I started sailing at a very young age and did a lot of racing, as you can see on the photo below. And yeah, that's where my personal passion for the water came from. And then I had found an opportunity to combine that with my professional life. So very happy to be here, and I'm excited for the questions and conversations at the end. I pass it over to Nuri.
Thank you, Laura. Good evening, everyone. Great meeting you. I'm originally from Bremen, where I also did my bachelor's together with actually Sochil. We were in the same cohort, 2014 to 15 to 16, around that time. And then I did my master's, former EMBC, I think now it's IMBC, some of you know. And I was actually together with Michael, who's also participating today. So great to see lots of familiar faces. Now I'm in Berlin, working as a grant manager for a multilateral foundation, Blue Action Fund, which is funding NGOs in the more global south, funding marine protected areas and supporting coastal communities. And before that, I worked for the German Agency for International Development Cooperation, GIZ, for about 2 years as a development advisor. And with an ECOP, I, together with Tristan and maybe some of you, will be co-organizing the Next Wave Ocean Dinner, where we're going to talk about a bit more later. And then with Annabelle managing the LinkedIn group. I can only second what she said already. Let's make it a active group where we exchange on opportunities, whether it's jobs or funding or whatever. That should be the place to share. And then we're gonna get to that in the Ocean Decade committee. We're gonna have different working groups, and I will also participate in the economy and finance group. And one of my personal targets, is also to get some money from them for us, for you guys, for different things. and member of German Ocean Decade Committee, I forgot, but we're going to talk about that in a second. With that, I am handing over to Kim.
Yeah, thanks. Hello again. It's nice to see you all here this evening. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, I would also like to keep it short. I'm Kim. I'm based at Kiel University at the Department of Geography. I'm research assistant at the Department of Geography. And I have a background in interdisciplinary marine research. Yeah, this means that I always try to combine natural science and social science approaches. Yeah, I always say it's a bit like combining the best of both worlds. And yeah, for that I studied political science, sociology, geography, and practical philosophy. And I work a lot on ocean justice issues. And yeah, for me, it's always important to do good science communication. And yeah, which also means, yeah, not just letting knowledge be knowledge, you know, but yeah, rather transforming knowledge into concrete action. So yeah, ocean activism, scholar activism. And yeah, I think that the Ocean Decade Committee is a good platform for this. And yeah, with that, I would like to tell you a bit more about this together with Nuri now. So yeah, next slide, please. Yeah, a short definition. The UN Ocean Decade is an international call for joint research projects, actions, and information campaigns with the goal of creating a healthy and sustainably ocean by 2030. That's the definition. And yeah, for that, specific goals and challenges have been formulated to, yeah, more or less guide us on this journey. And due to time limits, I won't list them all now, but you are very welcome to take a look on the website. And yeah, many countries have national committees and representatives. And yeah, they are trying to promote and communicate these goals and challenges of the UN Ocean Decade. Yeah, thanks. The link is in the chat. Thank you. Next slide. So yeah, here you can see the members of the German Ocean Decade Committee, to which Nuri and I also belong. Yeah, as we have said before, we are appointed for a period of 3 years. And yeah, we have very different backgrounds, NGOs, science, business, administration. So yeah, it's a very diverse group, which is very good. And next slide, please. Yeah, our main goals are the following. As I said before, the promotion of the UN Ocean Decade in Germany, and therefore, yeah, acting as a link between national and international activities. The second goal, developing sustainable solutions for good relationship between humans and the ocean. And the third goal, communication. The fourth, integration and networking. And the fifth, mobilization. And Nuri will now explain you a little bit more detailed what yeah, our concrete work looks like.
Yes, next slide, please. Thank you. Maybe before I go into the working groups, I think we had Ute Wilmsen, one of the members of the committee, also participating, but it seems like she left already. But who is here is also Ulrike Heine. She's the coordinator for the UN Ocean Decade Committee. Maybe then later in the Q&A she can also say a few words, or if Kim and I have forgotten anything, feel free to add. But yeah, coming to the working group. So within the Ocean Decade Committee in the past 3 years was already these working groups were formed. Now with the new committee, we reviewed and made some slight changes. But here, these are the 5 current groups: so education and society, politics, media and public relations, economy and finance, where I also will be part of, and the early career ocean professionals. So our group, our coordination unit, is through Kim and me also represented in this committee. And yeah, I think we also agreed that this should stay for now like this. And maybe that brings me also to the next slide already. So we only had our kickoff with the committee in January, so it's still kind of fresh. And most of the working groups are still kind of forming. So what is a working group actually? I forgot maybe to explain that, but so some of the members of the committee will actually be part or even leading the working groups, but part of the working groups can then also be stakeholders from science, from the industry, from different sectors of society, working towards the respective topics, whether this is events or organizing certain, I think for the education group, for example, doing events at schools, organizing the Blue Schools initiative in Germany. This kind of things could be different stuff, but I think one of the lessons learned from the past 3 years was that there's very little to none ECOP representation in these working groups. And going forward, I think Kim and I really want to make sure that this changes, and it's an invitation going forward to us and to you guys to actively participate in those groups. But as I said, it's still in the early stages. Most of the groups still have to form, but on the website, but we will also make sure to get the info directly to you. There will be opportunities for you to participate. And that's then on you, what's most interesting for you. And but let's see. But I think it's quite exciting also, as a early career, to connect with people who are already a bit longer in the business. And yeah, let's see. I mean, it's not so much I can tell you about it right now, as I said, because it's still early, but I think we will make sure that it's going to be good. I don't know, is that my last slide already?
Yes.
Right.
Thank you very much,
But yeah,
Nuri,
most of the info is also on the website.
Perfect. Yeah, the link to the website is in the chat, so go and check that out for sure. And there are more ways to get involved, not only within the National Decade Committee working groups, but also within our ECOP community, let's say. And of course, they overlap, like Nuri has already told us. But I want to hand it over to Annabelle and Tristan, who will give you a little bit more concrete opportunities and also what we are planning, what is already, let's say, set in stone for the upcoming months. So over to you both, and happy.
Yeah, thanks, Laura. Yeah, so the kind of primary objective for the next couple months is really to grow our network and also grow interactions within the network between all of you. So we are going to be actively involved in the Ocean Decade Conference in Barcelona, which is happening. There are going to be satellite events, so online moderations and so on the 8th and the 9th of April, if you guys want to mark that in your calendars. And then I don't know if some of you were able to register. Their registration itself was very competitive. There was over 5,000 applications for only, I guess it was around 1,500 spots. But I did manage to get in, which is pretty cool, because then we have a representation of ECOP Germany at the conference too, and really kind of showing more of our awareness of our group in Germany, connecting with everybody else, and really getting connection and communication started in ocean disciplines. We also have a couple other events planned that we'll be attending. So, for example, we'll be represented at the Ocean Film Festival, which is happening in Kiel, and because Kiel, the Partnerstadt, so the partner city of Kiel is Brest. We will also be present in Brest. We are planning to attend the Umaris. If anyone still wants to register, I believe registration closes today. If you want to hand in an abstract. We will also be present at ICMARA, which is happening kind of more in autumn and fall. And then we also have Kim is going to be active in Fjord projects and events that will be happening in Kiel in September also. So that's kind of the general framework. And then we also have the next wave Ocean Dinner, which is coming up. So since Tristan is leading that, I'll let you say a couple words to that.
All right. Yeah, I'm just gonna say something as well in addition to the Ocean Decade Conference. Like I have registered as well. Maybe some of you have as well and haven't heard of feedback. I talked to the organizers today. They will provide feedback until the end of next week. So yeah, I hope to be present, but if not, there will be a lot of online events. As Annabelle said, I am as well gonna host a virtual ECOP session. We will announce that as well on LinkedIn, so you can get involved, listen to other ECOPs, see what's going on in Barcelona, even if you cannot be present. So yeah, where you can be present maybe it will be the next Wave Ocean Dinner, which I am co-organizing with Nuri for the moment. If anybody here can or wants to get involved already, this would be a great opportunity. So we are planning to organize an event where ECOPs can come together, and not just ECOPs, but as well people who are affiliated or connected to the ocean in a dinner. It's still in its early stages, but we're planning it to be after the ICMARA conference at some point, so towards the end of September. If you are interested in that, either let us know in the question and answers or just drop us an email message whatsoever. We are happy for your support. And yeah, what we would like to know from you as well is if you would like to get actively involved, what you would like to do, what kind of expectations you have as well from us, and yeah, what outputs you are expecting from ECOP Germany, and maybe the decade event in whole. So yeah, we have, as some of us have already said, we have created a survey for ECOP Germany in particular, which I will put in the chat after finishing this slide, and I would like those who have not filled it out yet to fill it out if you like, and as well share it with friends, family, co-workers, whatsoever, so we get the most results out of what people expect from ECOP Germany. And yeah, I think that's mostly it from this slide.
Yeah, I just wanted to add one quick thing. We're really here to kind of coordinate the connection within Germany, and it's obviously going to be only as strong as your involvement in that too, whether that might be just passive or active, in which way you want to kind of contribute. We're very happy. We're here for you guys and to support you, and yeah, so get involved if you want.
Yeah, thank you, Annabelle. I was actually thinking about saying quite similar thing. So thank you for doing that. Perfect. We will share this slide at the end again, but looking at the time, it's really flying already, and I do want to give Soshit an opportunity to share her experiences, and she's the coordinator of the Central American ECOP node. So please, Soshit, share some of your experience as an ECOP coordinator, what kind of activities have been successful and how you've been developing. So I'll hand it over to you, and I'll stop sharing my screen so you can share your slides.
I think I need to be given permission to share the slides. Oh, no, I can. Okay. So now you can, sorry, now you can see my slides, right? All right, I'm gonna put this back. Now you see the presentation. I don't know how to take this off, I'm sorry. Anyway, it works well. Thank you very much for the invitation. So I'm feeling very honored to be here in the opening of the German node, as well, because I know how important such an event is. And what I'm about to tell you is a little bit of my inspiration. So someone is waiting to enter. I'm sorry. And I'm just gonna tell you a little bit of my story on engagement, on ocean engagement, and I'll try to be as fast as possible, just to give you an overview of the motivations and how to get involved and how it can look like and the lessons learned from this involvement. So just basically, in case you don't know me, because a couple of people here already know me, I come from a very small country here and a tiny region between North and South America. So I come from Central America, and can you see my mouse? I don't know, but I come from here. And I grew up surrounded by amazing nature. And if we look closer, I grew up in a tiny town, which is called Antigua Cuscatlán, here in the red dot. And it's a beautiful town, but most importantly, it's surrounded by nature. And when I was little, I would go like every weekend with my parents and go and walk on a mountain ridge, which is called La Cordillera del Bálsamo. And we will watch all these animals, we will go through all these trails, and I would just love to be in nature. And sadly, as development goes, I also saw this nature disappear. So that broke my heart as a little kid. So I said I was going to protect the nature, I was going to protect the environment and save the world. So since I grew up in the time of TVs, I started watching a lot of shows, and I had a lot of inspiration from Steve Irving, from Sir David Attenborough and Jacques Cousteau. So these were the people that inspired me, and I would spend hours watching their programs and their documentaries. But as a couple of the coordinators mentioned, I don't come from a coastal area actually, but I did live close, relatively close, 40 minutes away from the ocean. I would love to spend time there. So I come from the global south, from a tropical region. So we have tropical beaches, we have mangrove forests, and an incredible fauna. But most importantly, I fell in love with these tiny beings. I fell in love with sea turtles. So I decided that I wanted to protect the ocean afterwards. And on that inspiration, I had then new people to look up to. So Jacques Cousteau stayed, but I then started watching things by Sylvia Earle and the activities of Sea Shepherd. So I decided that since I wanted to protect the ocean, I had to be a marine scientist. I had to be a marine biologist. And I got the opportunity then to go to the University of Bremen, which is where I met Nuri. And first I did my bachelor's in biology, and I did my master's in marine biology. Here now I fell in love with another being in another environment, which were the coral reefs, and most of all the coral reefs in the Eastern Tropical Pacific, which is the Pacific Ocean on the left of the Central American coast. So as you know, like coral reefs are facing so many challenges currently in terms of overfishing, climate change, pollution, and all these are due to anthropogenic activities. And in order to get more information in relatively data poor country, not relatively, in a data poor country, so I had to get the information from fishers, for example, that they would recall and think about how it looked like, how the reef looked like 60 years ago, 15 years ago. And I started noticing the importance of human activities and how much actually conservation and involvement it required on humans activities, involvement on human activities to preserve and actually protect the oceans. So I embarked myself on a new topic, which is instead of looking at the life below water, start looking to life above water. And this is what I'm doing right now. And this is what marine social sciences do, that instead of looking only at populations and so on, we look at the value, not only monetary, but also food security and cultural value of the ocean. So I am now working or doing my PhD as a social scientist, and I'm getting involved with small-scale fishing communities around the world. And I really fell in love with talking to these people and getting involved in management systems and how the relation to the ocean affects their relationships between humans. So I was able to go to Mexico, I was able to go to Japan and investigate like how people live with the oceans and learn new types of knowledges, and also getting a little bit more involved into the lives of the people that live at the coast and with the ocean every day. But still, this wasn't enough for me, because I come from Central America, and my dream was actually protecting the ocean and the environment in Central America. So this was something I was missing. So in one of my endeavors as a PhD student, I went to the Ice Spices conference, and here there were some really interesting people. I don't know if you know the coordinators from other nodes, but this is Rafael, for example. This is the one I talked to, and the idea of having a Central American node actually came from a conversation on a bus, and just talking about different ideas and how cool it would be actually to start a node in Central America. And after a call with the people from the ECOP program, we started it. And as a first task, we built a team. So we built a team of Central American coordinators, and this is actually how the team looks like right now. So I function as the regional coordinators, and we work on two different levels. On a regional level and international level, which is basically my role, and involving ECOPs in international conversations, organizing events at the regional level. One of these things is, for example, our presence in the next UN Ocean Decade conference, where I'll also be present. And also all the different seminars that we have been organizing. So our node has every second month a seminar on a topic that we consider, or ECOPs consider, that is important for the region. And then we also have a newsletter that is specific to the region with job offers and so on. And in Latin America, we also have to remember that we still belong to the global south, and we have limited resources. So traveling to workshops to Europe or conferences in the US or Australia, it's very difficult for ECOP. So we need to tailor our activities to the capacities and the needs from the people from our region, and this is what we've been trying to do. So therefore, we also have national activities, and we're also planning our own symposium, ECOP symposium in Central America, so that ECOPs are able to share and connect at a level that it's appropriate for them, and still try to elevate them and find funding so that they can actually go to more international events. Of course, language is a barrier. Like English proficiency is it's difficult in Central America, but I think that through inclusion and different tools, we are managing actually to close this gap and get more involvement from this region that is definitely underrepresented. So our goal and overall in our node is to enhance and to highlight the contribution of Central American ECOPs at all levels, national, regional, and global levels. And we do this through networks, through our regional database, by identifying obstacles and challenges. We also have now our first report, where we're also showing the results from our first survey. We're also sharing and providing opportunities through our networks and providing trainings in cooperation with with Olga, for example, that was already mentioned, that is running right now. So at the end, hope you can see this. At the end, my lessons learned from my engagement and my journey in being involved with the ocean is that it can take many forms. In my case, it takes forms of working with local communities and engaging with the local people, and also working at a higher level, at the international level. And I think both can be combined and for a common goal, which is practically creating the ocean we want. I think it will definitely transform over time. I started with sea turtles, then I went to corals, and now I'm working with people. And I think I learned that I need to be open on how it can look like. There's no one size fits all, and it has to be tailored to the needs and to our capacities. We don't have to push to be in a certain way, and I think the ECOP program reflects it in a perfect way, in that we have so many passionate people that all working with the ocean, but each node is unique and has their own strategies, and I think we appreciate that well, and the program has allowed also to work so independently and to give our own flavor to each node that is needed, because there are so many differences among the regions. And lastly, that change requires collective action, that all the work that the Central American node is doing and the global ECOP program, it's a work from so many people that are really giving all they can to achieve one single goal. And we are social beings and we cannot do it alone. And I think the ECOP program has definitely given me the community that I needed to feel that I'm doing something for my region, and I'm doing something for where I came from. So I'm really thankful for it, and I'm looking forward to all the future projects that we still have in mind and we're planning to do for this 2024. And thank you.
Thank you so much, Joshi. It's very inspiring and